Set boundaries and watch how quickly you start to lose friends. The thing about users is,
y'all know, and I have done this, whole master classes on boundaries. There's a saying, that I've been saying for years when working with my clients, that givers have to set limits because takers rarely do. Givers have to set limits because takers rarely do. What does that mean? A person who is a taker, who is an energy vampire, who is a user, who is a scammer, has no problems taking anything and everything that they can get from you if you're going to give it to them. They're not setting a boundary. They're not setting a limit. That means you have to set the boundary. You have to set the limit, because if you don't, they will take everything that you got and not feel any shame or guilt around it. And even if they do, who cares? Because you're the one left suffering, right? So givers have to set limits because takers rarely do. You have to set the boundaries for your life. You have to set the boundaries for your business. You have to set the boundaries for your family. You have to set the boundaries for your time. Every aspect of your life. There's not just one type of boundary. And boundaries are so much more than just saying no, no, no. Because what are you saying yes to? You can't say no to everything. So what are you saying yes to? You have to know what your boundaries mean. You can't just say no to everything. So you really have to think about your life. What's important in your life, right? What do you want in your life right now? Is whatever it is that you're working for, whether it's your career, whether it's your relationships, whether it's for yourself, is it feeding into that goal, or is it taking away from it? So then this allows you to say, okay, these are the type of boundaries that I'm going to set. And this is what the boundary is going to look like. So for example, I talked about having business boundaries, right? And how my revenue increased 30% when I set firm business boundaries. And one of those boundaries, and you can look, I talked about it on LinkedIn and some of my other social media, but one of those boundaries was really choosing who my ideal client was and who is in alignment with me and my energy and who I can best help. And once I really looked at who are my clients that I love working with, who are my clients that get the best results, who are my clients who show up consistently and do the work. I took time with that and figured that out. And once I figured that out, I said, these are the people that I'm going to work with. And anybody who doesn't fall into this category, they might show up. They might say, Avalaura, I need your help. So-and-so referred me to you. I saw you on Real Housewives of Potomac, whatever it is, right? And they may show up and be like, oh my God, yes, I don't care. I will pay your fee. Whatever it is that you want, I will do it. I won't work with them because I set that boundary. I know who I am. I know my clients. I know who I best work with, and I know who best works with me. I am not for everyone. I set that boundary. And just in my business alone, 30% revenue increase. That has nothing to do with my time, my energy, all of that other stuff. That's just my revenue. That's what boundaries can do when you set them. Yes, there will be fallouts. I have talked about that. Go through my videos. We've talked a lot about boundaries here, but it's something that I want to continue talking about, because as long as you deal with people, you are going to have to learn how to establish healthy boundaries. As long as you're living in this world. Now, if you want to go be a monk somewhere, if you want to go be a hermit somewhere and live under a rock and not deal with people, then hey, you don't need to worry about boundaries. But as long as you are dealing with people, your friends, your families, your coworkers, your boss, your kids, your husband, your wife, as long as you are dealing with people, you are going to have to learn how to have effective boundaries, because people will take you there. People will take you there if you let them. It is your job not to let them. So if you want to hear more about boundaries, all the different types of boundaries, all the different ways that you can actually have healthy boundaries, all the different things that happen when you do have healthy boundaries, all the things that happen when you don't have healthy boundaries. If you want to hear more about boundaries, you want to learn more about boundaries, share your boundary stories, do it in the comments. Let's talk, and we'll keep this conversation going. Until next time, peace, y'all.